gonna try to make this quick. I gotta prepare for the week. But anyways, I want to give about three quick points. So, if you're somebody that's questioning life, not knowing what to do, not knowing what to say, you have to make sure you go to the right sources. And sometimes that can be hard to dictate what is the right source. Now, one of the safe options is therapy. A second safe option is anybody that don't have any type of trauma or hurt that you were involved with to some degree. There's a lot of times we like to carry ourselves certain ways. We like to view ourselves in a certain light, and we like to have control over different things. But a lot of time is what I learned about life is the only real thing you have control over is yourself. And even then, you don't always have control over yourself. So there's a lot of times people create a persona or create. I think I said something like this a while ago, where it's like you become your own older sibling or your own guardian or protector. So it's like your inner child was abused or tormented or something, or the world did something to your inner child. And so you create this persona to protect that inner child. And so now anything that remotely resembles that, your new persona protects it. And then anything that's remotely close to that, if things don't go according exactly how you think things should be handled, then it's kind of like when people get out of relationships. It's like, oh, this person used to like this sport, or this person used to like this band, or they used to say this phrase, or anybody that is associated with those things, you automatically just see that's a red flag. So the one thing I learned is a lot more people are hurt in this. I went from 2 to 22. That usually don't happen. But anyways, a lot of people don't realize how hurt they are because they like to think that they got control over certain things. Oh, mostly I went away, but a lot of people and sometimes they don't do the work to actually see like where their pain or their sorrow or their grief or their envy or their rage come from, and then they kind of just have like that persona that they rely on, where it's like, oh, this is me, this is that. So the one thing that I learned is to not take things personally. A lot of times I want to do certain things. I want to be there for people. I want to possibly help them get to a certain point or be of service to them. But a lot of people just want to rock how they want to rock. And a lot of times it's not my place to be in their circles, not my place to do anything. So, and then sometimes I could be the person that triggers some type of trauma. And so a lot of times, even, and I'm dealing with a few scenarios that involve that, but legally I can't talk about one of them, so I need to watch my mouth with that one. But um, excuse my little brain pauses, but It's a lot of times that pain cuts deeper than people realize. Pain cuts a lot deeper, and um, I think the sooner we realize how much pain really, and then there's a lot of people that tell people to get over it. Oh, like you've been upset for 5 years, you ain't over it yet. But sometimes, depending on how deep the wound is and how much of a shell they surround themselves with, it may take that shell may never crack. So, um, there was another point I had I was going to talk about. And the thing is, watch what you idolize and watch what you put your worth into. Sometimes people put their worth in relationships. Sometimes they put their worth in their job. Sometimes they put their worth in so many other things. But a lot of those things are fleeting because at the end of the day, it kind of ties into the other thing where a lot of people's trauma and pain, they end up holding in to certain things that they don't realize. And if you're basing your worth off of certain things, you're just going to put yourself in a little game where now you're constantly having to try to prove yourself. You're constantly trying to seek approval. You're constantly trying. It's some of y'all know. It's like so, like basketball players. If a basketball player makes 23s one game and they only make five the next game, see he ain't all that. He ain't all that. It's like, but he's in the league playing for $1 million. What you doing? So or she. There's some girls that be hooping. Um, but the thing is, it's easier to doubt somebody. It's easier to say you're not capable of this, or it's easier to say you're not as great as you think you are. It's easy to say you're a horrible person, you're this, you're that, you're whatever that might come out their mouth. So if you are, and I've been guilty of this, if you are putting so much value on people, where especially if y'all have different views on life in general or morality or certain things, you're just going to be putting yourself in a situation where you're running a maze and you're trying to prove every waking moment of your life, trying to disprove whatever they believe. And then all it takes for them to go, not good enough. And then now you're like distraught. Now you're upset. Now you're doing all these other things. Now you're saying and acting in ways that you don't normally say and act in. So whether it's a spouse, an ex spouse, a close friend, distant relative, close relative, whether it's yourself, you have to find that thing where you are really honing in on what values you stand for. And a lot of times people hold you to the person that you used to be. Sometimes people hold you to your mistakes. And sometimes you hold yourself to those mistakes. And sometimes it's a combination of everything. Societal pressure, expectations from family and friends, expectations for yourself, grief, regret, misery, confusion, somebody putting raisins in potato salad. It don't matter what it is. But yeah, just be mindful of how much of yourself you're putting into things. And then the last thing, if you're similar to me and you're questioning life and you're in a process of rebuilding and you are trying to figure things out, give yourself some grace. Especially if you're trying to be a better person, especially if you been the victim and the I forgot the other word, but victim and the predator. Uh, I'm just going to use that for right now. If you've been, okay, the receiver and the inflictor of certain things. There we go. That sounds better than what I was gonna say. If you've been the receiver and the inflictor of certain things, you just have to just move on because a lot of people, to my original point, they hold on to that stuff. And then there's some people that will see you and y'all can work things out. There's some people that's going to hold you to that pain. And even if you try to rectify it, they will hold you to that pain to the day you die. They will hold you to that pain the day you die. And you're just going to be looking like a plump fool trying to say, do you accept me now? No. What about now? No. You be two replaced hips, knees, and and all your natural teeth is out. What about now? Nope. And you waste your life trying to. But also, bonus tip: go to where you are understood. And that's essential. A lot of people want you to be isolated and want you to struggle and want you to do these different things and they want you to prove stuff to them. But a lot of times you need support. A lot of times you need people that's actually gonna look at you and be like, hey man, I got you. I know a lot of people like to pride themselves on, I got it out the mud. I did it myself. I'm all gas, no brakes, you know. But even the toughest people in the world had somebody in their life, cut them a break or do something. So as much as people like to say they're self-made, nobody on this planet is self-made. Nobody. Somebody cut you a break. Something happened. There's a string of events that had to happen. You might have had a lot of your own motivation, you might have built in your own discipline and stuff like that, but you're not self-made. And plus, the fact that you came out of a woman's coochie, you are not self-made. But yeah. So yeah, I just want everybody to kind of just take a moment to reassess life a little bit. Let's stop with the main character syndrome. Let's start unpacking how we actually feel and get back to that inner child and see like why is your inner child suffering? Then maybe we can build a new persona in conjunction with your inner child instead of a separate persona to protect your inner child. Because then I think that's when people aren't as stressed, aren't as aggravated, aren't as quick to cuss and yell each other out, are quick to judge in an unjust manner and different things. But, you know, at the end of the day, we don't get no pamphlet about how to do life. Some might say that's the Bible, but there's people that disagree with that too. Um, but I hope everybody have a good week. Um, if you're in the Cypress, Texas area, not Cypress. Well, even if you're in Cypress, if you're in the Spring, Texas area, look up this dance studio called Just Dance. It's spelled with a Z E instead of a C E. Um, book some intro lessons and come see me. Or if you want to just tell me I'm stupid, come see me. I'm just kidding. But uh, yeah. But anyway, I got love for y'all. Uh, hopefully, if I'm on the road, I don't piss you off. But if I do, I don't mean to. But anyway, but yeah. Um, but I know that everybody like they food a certain temperature, so that's a weird analogy. Or actually, that's not even an analogy. That's a weird saying. But everybody like their food a certain way, and I think my role is to just let people rock, and then I just stay out the way and let people rock, and then those who want to rock with me will, and those who don't won't, and people feel what they feel about me. people, whether I actually did something or didn't do something, or used to do something or still do something, or what I do on their bed, which I never done, not intentionally. Anyway, I was a baby. I don't know if I did it when I was a baby. I don't even remember. I remember a couple memories when I was 4, a handful of stuff when I was 5 and older, and then different things throughout the years. Anyways, I've been blabbing long enough. I gotta prepare for the week. I thought I was gonna do something else, but that's probably a sign for me to stop. So, much love to all y'all. No matter if you love me or hate me, life is still better, baby. Or at least you can try to make it better. If you're more of a margarine person or some other substance, dang, my face is bumpy. But anyway, but anyways, it is what it is. So, if you see me out in the street, in the grocery store, at the gym, and you want to say something, come say something. Because even though I get a lot of social anxiety, I still like interacting with people. So yeah, um, deuces, deuces. I'm not Polynesian. I'm a wrestling fan. So anyways, bye.